my marketing agency will do $1 million in revenue this year. And this is the mistake I see most agency owners making, including myself, and the solution to make scaling so much easier. So after scaling a done-for-you marketing agency to over $1 million per year in revenue, the real problem with scaling isn't about adding more clients or adding more team members. That's actually easy. It's making sure your systems and your processes are ready for scale. There's been so many times over the years where we have added more clients, right? We've quote unquote scaled, and we have broken our operations. Basically, we scaled up. We couldn't deliver the quality that we wanted for our clients. Clients were leaving sooner. Churn went up. Client satisfaction went down, and it made the whole experience bad for everyone. Right, the clients, the team, myself included. So what happened is we had to scale back down. Right, we had to lose clients. We had to become smaller to rebuild and improve our systems to then scale back up. Right, and most agencies they want to scale their agencies above 100K per month. Right. And we all think that it's just as simple as adding clients, adding team members, building these pod structures where, okay, 5 team members to 10 clients, whatever it is, but it's just not that simple. And with every new client you add complexity, okay? And I'm talking about done-for-you marketing services where the things that you're delivering to clients are different per client, and you're also working on many different projects at the same time. Right? We work with e-commerce brands, and the deliverables that we do, so we produce the ad creatives, we manage the media buying for Facebook ads, and we also do email and SMS marketing. But every brand is different, and every brand is selling to a different persona. And all of the deliverables that we do, the ad creatives, the emails that we design, that we write, everything is different, right? So it's very, very difficult to standardize something. If you're working with, say, chiropractors, right, and you're working with chiropractors in a specific country, you can likely standardize the output much, much more, right? You have an offer that works, you do one per city or whatever it is, and that's it. Okay, then it becomes easier to add more clients at scale, but you still need a strong operation, right? It doesn't really excuse the fact that you can't just scale without systems and processes. Okay, so with more clients, more team members, you need a strong interconnected system. Right? What I mean by that is that you have a system in place that you can align all team members, that you can make sure that even if you have 10 clients or 20 clients, that you just still deliver the same quality of work on time. And this is what the system needs to be able to do. And for us, it's a project management system on Notion, and it allows us to align all team members. Everyone is in the loop with what's going on at what time. And then I would layer on top of this, you can use AI to basically update team members and also alert team members when things are near their due date and have had very little movement on them in the past few days. So before you add more clients, here's what I would do. The first thing is you want to make sure that you have a very clear deliverable and scope of work per client. And ideally, it's somewhat standardized across all your clients. Here's what I mean. For us, we deliver Facebook ad creatives and we run the ads for clients. This is one of our services. Now, we don't really have a set number of creatives that we produce for clients on a monthly basis because we manage the ads. And what we do is we produce however many ad creatives we feel is necessary based on the ad spend, right? But what that does is that some clients, we're producing 40 ads a month and some we're producing 20 ads a month. And it doesn't make planning that easy, right? And planning in terms of your capacity, right? How many editors do we need? How many creative strategists do we need? That sort of thing, okay? But if you're producing 20 ads a month for every client, then it's much, much easier to build that pod structure of team members and plan for what your deliverables and your capacity needs to be in order to hit those client expectations. So make sure deliverables are defined clearly to avoid what's called scope creep, which is basically when you start doing more than what's actually scoped out and not charging more for it. Okay, that's one of the main things that plagues agencies, including mine, and it's something that we have to constantly push back against. The second thing I would do is build a solid project management pipeline that aligns all team members and also aligns your managers, right? If you have managers overseeing different teams or even yourself, is how do you make sure that you stay in the loop as an agency owner without having to go into every project management system and looking through and saying, okay, this has been delivered, this hasn't been delivered, right? So you need that project management system, but then you also need the AI, right? Some AI tools to basically tell you on even like a daily report to say, hey, this is what was delivered for this client, 3 things that are outstanding for this client, this team member's delayed on this, or just give you the kind of executive report, the overview of what you need to know. And then of course, if there's an issue, something that's overdue, an issue, a bottleneck, then you can go and investigate, okay? And that's just going to make your workflow so much easier. And, if you're currently looking through Slack channels and catching things and clients, pointed things out and, client says something, a team hasn't responded for 3 hours and you're having to then bring that to the internal channel and say, hey guys, get on this, like who's taking care of this? If that's what you're doing at least once a week, then you need something like this, right? Not just for you, but for your team members, but also for your managers as well, because it is harder and harder to keep a pulse on every individual client with the more clients you add. And the third thing I would do is I would automate the repetitive tasks that your team is currently doing. So if your team is doing something repetitive every day or multiple times a week, then that is something that you can look at automating that, right? Of course, some things can be automated, or they can, but you'll lose quality. So it's better for the team to continue doing them. But there's some things like reporting, communication, sending team updates, updating team to manager, right? Those sorts of things can be automated with AI, right? And what that's going to do is going to free up their time for thinking, right? You just want to look at their calendars, just like you would look at your own calendar, and understand where can you delegate and automate. You want to do the same thing for your team. So those are the 3 things that I would do right now. And the whole goal with this video is to share not just the action steps, but also to share just the idea and the thought process that if you make it a point that we're not going to scale until we have a strong operation, right? We're not going to scale until we meet this criteria with our systems and processes. If you adopt that mindset, you're going to be able to scale actually much faster than your competitors, right? Not by just adding more clients right now, but over the long haul, when you add clients consistently and on a more manageable cadence, and you constantly strengthen your operation at each stage of scale, you don't grow too fast. You take it slow and you be consistent. You're going to be able to keep those clients. And while your competitors are scaling up and scaling back down and scaling up and scaling back down, you're just constantly scaling up, even though it's going to take you longer, right? It might take you a year longer, 2 years longer, but you're going to be better off, right? And trust me, I'm speaking from experience here. Like, we've done this multiple times where we've had to scale up, scale back down, and it's not fun. It's actually very, very frustrating. And yeah, I create this video so basically you don't have to go through the same process, right? So hopefully this helps. Let me know if it does. And also let me know if you face this problem, right? I've seen this so many times with other agency owners, but curious to hear from you. Is this something you're currently facing? And if so, what are you doing to be able to solve that issue?